Are you a woman?
Next spring, I'm going to take my talents and join the WNBA.
But Enes, you'll be taking an opportunity away from a woman.
Coach, by their rules, if I step on that court and identify as a woman, I am allowed to play.
I'm not touching him, I'm just saying.
You were sorry in the league. You were sorry in the league. Sorry, you were sorry in the league.
Well, today is truly a sad day. 8/23/26 will be a day that lives forever in infamy because, ladies and gentlemen, our trans queen has been kicked out of the WNBA. That is right. We have, of course, covered the legendary WNBA career of Enes Kanter Freedom. That is, of course, the retired male NBA basketball player who decided to declare for the WNBA draft, given that the WNBA doesn't want to define what a woman is. More than half of the league has come out and stated they would support trans athletes and they want men to be playing in their sports. And so, of course, trans hero Enes Kanter Freedom decided, hey, I'm going to declare for the WNBA draft. What are you going to do about it? And of course, tonight, he showed up to a WNBA game in order to show support for his future fellow teammates and the like. And for whatever reason, we had some ghetto ratchet players just start screaming at him and making a confrontation against their fellow woman who they refused to support here for absolutely no reason. And then the WNBA security kicked him out. They kicked him out after he got yelled at, you know? This is just the greatest travesty of justice I've ever seen. I can't believe it. You can see the shirt here Enes Kanter Freedom wore to the game that says woman, adult, human, female, right? The definition of a woman, since the WNBA doesn't want to provide it. But according to the WNBA, there is a woman wearing a shirt that is supporting women. And for whatever reason, they don't like it. Now, of course, I have to say this whole saga has been pretty hilarious because I think what that guy Royce White and Enes Kanter have kind of proven here is just how ridiculous this whole trans athletes thing is. I mean, we always knew, but it was sort of in your face type of thing to say, okay, we're just going to declare then. According to you, we can be women, so we're just going to go play. And then you have even the more hilarious reaction of the WNBA trans activists trying to say that, oh, he's making a mockery out of it. This is completely unserious. To which I say, how do you know he doesn't identify as a woman, right? But anyways, long story short, he shows up to the game tonight and we'll show you what happened. But, everyone go out on social media. Justice for trans queen Enes Kanter Freedom. But let's talk about it, guys. First, though, do us a favor. If you enjoy our content, make sure you hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. That's the best way to support our work, and it also ensures that you can stay up to date with all of the latest news and coverage. And that said, you can just see the statement here. I just got kicked out of a WNBA game for supporting women. Let that sink in, America. Which is exactly correct, because according to the WNBA, women are not apparently the main characters of the WNBA. So this guy basically came out and said, okay, I'm going to show up and, abide by WNBA guidelines, be a woman, supporting other women. And then they just kicked him out. It's almost as if, by the way, that these people, once you truly bring their ideology to the forefront, I guess they're not serious about it. I don't know. But anyways, you can see, so he showed up here with this kind of, I guess, coalition of, young female athletes. You can see the signs, right? Protect women's sports. Thank you, Sophie Cunningham, feminist for women's sports, all of that different stuff. And then he's sitting there in the game. And for whatever reason, you have this other ghetto ratchet WNBA player in just the dead middle of the game start screaming at, this wonderful trans queen for absolutely no reason. Check it out for yourself. Yeah, so that goes down. For whatever reason, this lunatic is screaming at our trans queen, trying to berate our trans queen for absolutely no reason. But as you could probably see in that video, not really understanding why this happened, but after the WNBA player starts it with Enes Kanter Freedom, she just runs up to him and starts screaming at him for no reason. The WNBA security, instead of ejecting the WNBA player, who was the belligerent, who, is actually the one making a distraction out of the game because she can't even stay focused. She has KFDS, okay, Enes Kanter Freedom Derangement Syndrome. She's more focused on that guy than the actual game she's in the process of playing, which, by the way, we're supposed to be told this is a serious sport with, serious athletes. They need to be treated like the men. And, you can clearly see that behavior on the court on a daily basis. They're such serious people. By the way, they're so serious about their spot in empowering women's sports and everything the crusade they fought to get here, which is exactly why they are all advocating to lose their own spots on the team to get cut and replaced by men playing women's sports, which is exactly what they said. That's the behavior of people who really take this sport seriously. And, it's a true athletic competition that, we ought to be holding in this mainstream professional light. Okay, whatever. But for whatever reason, after that confrontation, here is the WNBA security kicking out our trans queen for absolutely no reason. Check it out for yourself. Yeah, so as you saw right there, despite doing absolutely nothing, they ejected our trans queen from the game, and you saw the reaction not just of the WNBA player, but the WNBA fan base who are booing him. They're flipping him off for reasons we frankly just cannot really articulate or explain because, here's the thing. If you have such a problem, you guys are the ones who all came out and said you want trans athletes in the sport. Right? And you're all about trans liberation, trans empowerment. All this guy did was go out there and state, okay, I'm going to be a trans athlete in the WNBA. And you sit there and boo him, right? It doesn't even really make any sense. Now, nothing these people believe actually makes sense. That's why they want men to be playing women's sports to begin with. But I think actually they can say whatever they want. They can say he's making a mockery out of it. He's making a parody out of it. No, in reality, all he's doing is just exposing the stupidity of what you actually believe and want to see happen. And you're kind of insecure about that, right? You're insecure when your own ideas are shoved right in your face. And that's why you're like, boo, hey, screw you, man. But you understand it's a defense mechanism, right? It's like when someone says something to your face about you that is too true, and deep down you know it to be true, but you're kind of like, you push them off, you say, hey man, F you, what the heck's your problem? But that's why, because it actually got under your skin. And that's the whole point. What he's done has gotten under their skin. At least that's one explanation of it. The other could be, I don't know, maybe they were booing him because of the contents of his shirt, right? Adult human female, they disagree with that definition because they're pro-trans, whatever. Okay, that's all fine. But then why do you oppose Enes Kanter Freedom's career in the WNBA? There's no articulate actual case you can make as to why you support trans athletes, but you're against Enes Kanter Freedom, right? You can sit there and try to say, oh, he's making a mockery out of women and female identity. Oh, really? You don't say. You don't say. But, the whole trans athletes issue to begin with is not, but for some reason you draw the line at Enes Kanter. Why? Why? Because he's biologically born a male? All trans athletes playing in women's sports are biologically born men. Oh, but clearly that's a man. Just look at him. Wait a minute. But I thought that it's not about appearance. It's about how you feel, right? So why can't a woman have short hair? Why can't a woman have a beard? Isn't that kind of transphobic to say? Aren't you all about non-binary or whatever? You see exactly what we're pointing out here, right? But again, I think that's actually why they're so pissed off at Enes Kanter, because in reality, he's really gotten under these people's skin because he's just sort of showing that all, to their faces. And it's quite entertaining to look at. And yeah, totally. Just justice for our trans queen here. As he put out himself, quote, "It's always women hating on other women," which is just so true. You fought so hard for trans female empowerment. And then now finally, when the final boss of an empowered trans female shows up to your league, you boo him, you spit on him, you reject him. But you know what? That's not going to hold him down. I mean, look, Tom Brady, what did he go, 5th round or whatever, 7th round, whatever it was, right? You know, there's a lot of athletes that have been underlooked in history who came out of nowhere, okay? How many years did Sam Darnold struggle in the league before he finally won a Super Bowl? This is going to be Enes Kanter, you know? They're going to boo him, and then finally they can't say anything because he's going to be champion. I fully agree with that and support and look forward to his career. But anyways, there you had the scene tonight. And yeah, that's my question to the WNBA player. Again, what are you so upset about? I thought you wanted to see trans athletes in the league. So this guy says, okay, I'm going to come into the league as a trans athlete. You're like, screw you. What's your problem, man? Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to take a wild guess, by the way. She's not doing it because she's a, feminist or whatever who wants to see only females playing in the WNBA. So please articulate specifically, right? What actually is your problem with him? Why do you support trans athletes but not him? There's no actually definition you can bring up that makes sense. You could say, oh, but he's not on female hormones. Okay, again, I thought it's about how you identify, how you feel. So therefore, would it be the case that, I don't know, women born with a natural deficiency in estrogen, are they therefore not women? Are trans identifying people who haven't started their hormone treatment yet or don't want to do hormone treatment? Do they not count as women? You know, what's the actual definition here? You can't figure it out because obviously, none of it makes sense. And that's the whole point he is bringing up there. So anyways, I do want to announce while we're on this subject that I've been working on a merch store myself for the past several weeks. We'll be having a merch line coming out soon. A lot of different designs, as you can see some of the early previews right here. But, it's actually perfect timing that this all happened because I've been working on a shirt. It's not done yet. Obviously, we just have like the base image, but I want a shirt that basically says like women's basketball champion. And you can see right here, right? And we'll maybe put on the top, it's a man's world or something like that. So stay tuned for our merch, okay? We're all gonna all wear this shirt around public in support of Enes Kanter and all of our trans queens who want to fulfill their lifelong dreams of being WNBA champions. And well, yeah. Anyways, folks, there you have it. That said, guys, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Justice for our trans queen. And peace.